And you went down this path a little bit earlier, but talking about the attitudes or the people who throw up the obstacles. And some of those obstacles that people will come up with, you know, the disability is too severe, a dual diagnosis, too many supports are needed, or too many serious disabilities or behavior issues are too intense that they're not going to be able to be supported in the community, or they're not going to be able to survive outside of that institutional setting. What's your response to some of those issues? And you're smiling already.
I'm smiling already because I'm reminded about probably 4 years ago, on a Saturday morning, I drove from St. Louis up to Jacksonville, Illinois, to meet with a group of parents that were part of a parent group that did not want to see people move out of the Jacksonville Developmental Center. And so they brought me in, I love this, as a breakfast speaker, which probably ruined their experience, because they knew, having read my bio, where I was coming from. And these parents that love their children to death, and that's the thing that I always say, is regardless, you will always be a parent. And I never doubt the motivations. I never try to second guess why parents made the decisions they did. One of the things that when these parents started talking to me about their sons and daughters not being able to succeed in the community, one of the things that they also mentioned is that some of them had been tried and failed. So I asked them about that. And I said, so tell me about that. And if you looked at the plan that was put in place, it was almost a some certain absolutism that the person was going to fail. Because what they did is take the person from a place where they felt that they belonged, because that's the truth. If you ask people if they like living here, most of the time they say yes. If you ask their families, do you like living here? Most of the time the families say yes. They moved people to a place where they not only didn't know anybody, but a place they didn't choose to live with, people they didn't choose to live, and they were living in large group homes that sometimes weren't even in the same community as where the family lived. So the very same things these families had experienced by shipping, in the system's mind, their kids off, the parent just having to deal with it and saying, I can't do this anymore, and not receiving any support. Now what happens is families are being told, we have a place 20 miles away, we have a vacancy, we have an opening, we have a slot. So the person goes there. They don't know anybody. The familiar faces that they've known, the smells of their room, the familiar faces are gone, and they're not linked with their community. And so I said to the families, are you aware of how much it costs? Because we don't talk a lot about this. What does it cost for your son or daughter to stay here? What does it cost? Fortunately, I just received a cost study. And it was about $142,000 a year a person. And as these families were coming at me and were challenging me, I listened to all of it. I thought very respectfully, and I just asked this question. I said, what if two of you families that know each other could have $142,000 a year put into a bank account, and if another person had a bank account, and now you had $280,000 a year. I said, do you think between two people and $280,000 a year, we might be able to come up with something? And all of a sudden they laughed, and I said, you know, for that, you could buy a Winnebago, you could go stay on a casino boat, and you could travel around the world and simply get the support you need. Now, I'm being a little bit facetious, but my point is, this is not about money. It's about where the money is spent. And we've got to stop saying community living is cheaper. What I say is, don't commit $1 more or $1 less than you're currently spending on the person. Let's make it equal. Let's say whatever it costs in an institution, that's what we've got. Now, I know what the administrators tell me, that they still have double costs. I know all the rest. But we don't offer parents that option. What we say is, you get to go to this group home. You get to go to this ISL. You get to go. And for some people, that is a losing proposition. And some people are going to need every bit of the wraparound supports they had in the institution. But if we think more creatively and try to think about this as being a smorgasbord in a cafeteria, as opposed to a meal with a menu that has one item on it, that's how you talk to parents and how you talk about, let's do this one person at a time.